On February 7th, 1977, on what began as an ordinary Sunday afternoon, an extraordinary being appeared before J.Z. Knight. He called himself Ramtha, the Enlightened One, and said, "I have come to help you over the ditch." He spoke of ancient wisdom and new ways to reawaken the spirit, and soon began to channel, speaking through the mind and body of J.Z. Knight. He changed her life forever on that February day, and would in the years to come change many, many more.
So, I am a teacher and a God. I am a God because I experienced all of these things. And I am a teacher, not of truth, but of philosophy. I have already lived my truth. It's my truth. It's not yours. It's philosophically and theoretically yours to be, but not yet. So I must become the teacher. I must plant in your mind outrageous concepts that you should never be afraid of. You can never fail what I tell you is in front of you. You can never fail destiny when you accept it.
For the first 10 years after Ramtha arrived into the life of J.Z. Knight, she was his first and foremost student.
It was an evolution, a time to where I had to evolve. I needed to evolve. I needed a great amount of adversity, it seems, in my own filtering process to say, is all of this worth what I may or may not learn? Clearly, the teacher was already loved the teacher, but could I learn what that teacher knew? And so in 1988, school really got underway.
So what is the School of Ancient Wisdom? It is to first open the mind and say to ourselves, there is more to me than what I see in the mirror. And there is more to me that I have yet to explore, and God bless me to have enough life to explore it. I want to be more than my body. I want to be more than my emotions. I want the power to heal, and I want the power to resurrect, and I want the power to know the meaning of a golden dawn and a stormy night. I want to understand it all and have no fear. The school is about mind over matter. It is about longevity. It is about awakening a God within a sleeping human.
It was on a Sunday, on a little bit of ground, as Ramtha would call it, when the school began.
Starting that day, he said, this will now be the School of Ancient Wisdom. That we are God, and that consciousness and energy creates reality, and you're going to learn how to do that.
Hold it! Top of the midday to you beautiful people!
Ramtha's school is not traditional in any way. It was not founded on academic authority or religious belief, but rooted instead in the experience of self, of each human being who comes to learn and to study its four basic principles. That God lives within each of us, that consciousness and energy create our reality. We are here to make known the unknown. We are here to be God in human form.
My beloved people, I want you to know you can do better, and you know you can do better.
We model truth on our personal application of the philosophy that we're God, that consciousness and energy creates reality, that we're here to create reality, that we're here to finish up some of the old paradigms, the old guilts, the old shames, the old unhappinesses, the old limitations, and to envision a new life for ourselves individually. And in that new life, though it is a philosophy, he was going to teach this core group how to actually materialize that and to prove to them that focused consciousness does create reality, creates those marvelous and miraculous things that we've always dreamt that were attributed to the closeness of God, the nature of God.
He gives us the ability to dream bigger than we would dream. And on the way to it, with what he offers us as disciplines, if we're willing to do that process, that work, we wind up accomplishing more than we ever thought we could. And then you dream bigger.
Focus!
To help students learn how to change their lives and how to reawaken their connection to the God within them, Ramtha teaches students a series of disciplines. Disciplines which show the students how to remodel and reconstruct their thoughts and help them achieve the goals of creating new realities. In other words, to make known the unknown.
And if you live in the present, that which you are focusing upon, it is destiny.
One of the practices to help focus the mind is field work with cards. Students, blindfolded, attempt to find a card they drew containing some personal symbol, a card that someone else attached face down on a fence bordering a large field. The students hold the image of the card in their mind and embark on a journey to find it.
We're in chaos. We're in a shopping mall of potentials. We're blindfolded, just like we are in life. And we're walking around, and our job is to keep our focus on our dream. The first day we find our card, we go, my God, was this an accident? So we go back out and we have to find the second card. And we keep doing that till we know, look, all I have to do is hold my focus on my dream in the midst of chaos, a field of potentials, and not be afraid. And I'll find my card blindfolded. That proves my focused consciousness creates reality. I can make my dreams happen.
It's the joy. Oh, I just know that it's not just this, it's not the piece of paper. I know what's on it's mine,
And you've got a part of you that will take you anywhere you want to go, but you've got to know that that's there, and you have to surrender to it. And it's difficult because we want to trust our senses. We want to trust that part of us that has helped us survive. And in order for us to surrender the part of us that has helped us survive, we have to trust something greater that will help us survive even better.
What you're going to learn today is not anything different than you've learned all along. You are always one with your target and one in your battle. When you are one in your battle, you are never defeated.
Another of the disciplines is archery, blindfolded archery. The students mark their targets and then stand 140 feet directly in front of them. There, they enter a state of calm and quiet and attempt to see the target in their minds.
Focus, just like you focus on your card. Focus on that target.
Once again, Ramtha is talking about focus. The core idea is to teach students they can achieve things they never believed possible, from hitting a distant target blindfolded to realizing their biggest dreams. Sometimes they hit it, sometimes they don't, but the purpose is learning.
Everyone comes in here to take the blessings of their dreams and make them possible, because that's what glorifies God. He's that teacher that is relaxing and allows us to grow without fear and allows us to make our own mistakes without punishment and teaches us to find the wisdom in them. I mean, I've known him for a very short time, 21, 22 years now. And he inspires people and he never overshadows them.
One of the toughest disciplines or exercises in Ramtha's school is known as the labyrinth. The labyrinth is a maze that winds over an acre of land, the colorful walls forming a constantly changing path. The goal here is for the blindfolded student to find the way to the center, which represents the innermost divine self. Instead of touching the walls or feeling the openings, the students are supposed to hold the center goal in their mind and find it using only their mind. As with life, it is considered a remarkable and difficult test, but one which most students eventually pass.
Everyone born in life is born into a maze of potentials, possibilities. And we come in blind. We are social creatures. We end up following other people down their paths, missing our own totally and utterly. We're taught to find our way to the center, the void, the center of God, the center of consciousness.
Most people get frightened with change. They think they're letting go of something instead of getting something. And the truth is there's an intermediate period where you go through chaos, where your definitions, the box of your life is not so defined anymore. But the point is it's to get a bigger box. It's to get a greater reality. And so there's a transition where you do go through chaos. But the thing that's beautiful is he's a great teacher. He teaches you how to let go and surrender for a greater reality.
You can't make it in this school unless you want to do the work, unless you want to know your God more than you want to be comfortable. It's not a comfortable school. It's not a school that indulges all the comforts. It's a school that presses you to move beyond comfort to a greater place of awareness.
I love the field. You are God's. You always have been and always will be. The divine in you speaks when the humanity in you is subdued by those blindfolds. And here is then the great training of the field. It replicates the amalgamation of people from everywhere, all in pursuit of a dream. A great body of people are all going their directions. And blindfolded is exactly the way it is in life. Blindness represents the blindness of humanity to the divine right that they all have. And with the teaching you are God. There is a divineness about you. Let it come out. Blindfold your humanity and pursue your dream.
You move past your body, you move past your pain, you move past your consideration of time, you move past the person breathing next to you, you move past all those things to a point where you've actually changed your body physiology. There's a chemical change that takes place in the brain.
It is the end of a long day. At the front of the room, watching, thinking, listening, the teacher.
The unknown. What a spectacular opportunity for those individuals who have finished their business to start the process of expansion.
In Ramtha, we see a very moral being. We see an absolutely adorable, outrageous, gregarious, loving, healing being who reminds us all the time that we create reality and that life is a gift and that we should live for 200 years at least, because that's how long it will take us to finally get unwound from our limitations and then get on with creating true brilliance in the cosmos.
Toward the end of the decade of the 90s, word of Ramtha's school and the successes of its students were intriguing a number of researchers and philosophers in the fields of science and religion.
I do not think that this is deliberate role-playing or fraud.
Psychologist Dr. Stanley Krippner has visited Ramtha's school several times over the last few years.
Something is definitely happening here that produces practical results, that produce measurable processes, and that seem to produce phenomena that are anomalous, not completely understood.
Over the last several years, Krippner and his associates put Ramtha and several of his students through a battery of tests to measure body temperatures, heart rates, and a number of physiological responses. All of the measurements showed dramatic changes in bodily functions. Krippner is convinced that something happens. As for the how and why and their meaning, he leaves that to the students.
This, I think, is something that demonstrates the existence of a unique phenomenon, and one that, according to the people who we tested, has been of real help and aid to them as they've gone through their life.
More than the affairs of sexuality. It is more than religion. It is more than wealth. It is more than health. It is more than doubt and belief. It is much deeper than that. It is about what we really are, fighting and scrambling to make waves on the surface of our incomplete self. School is about awakening the God within and how to implement it into the life.
I think he came back because it was time. We were ready to ask for something new. And in a time where leaders are sparse and corporations rule, it was a time to come back and to place things in perspective. It is not him that is the center attraction here, because there are people who've seen him. He's asking them to put themselves in the spotlight. And he's asking them to build their own altar to where they can lay their grievances, their sorrows, their disappointments, their pain and their suffering, and have that immediate embrace with their own divinity and their own God. He's asking them to stand up and be counted as a divine human being with all the potentials, and that no one is better than anyone else, no matter what anyone's told you.
Wake up and stop feeling sorry for yourself. Start seeing yourself as something greater, something to be explored and something to be found. You haven't found yourself. So get up off of your haunches and stop living in your past and stop living for ridiculous opinions of other people. Believe in yourself. The journey is not predictable. It's anything you want it to be. And this is how all the great ones start. When life becomes predictable, then it's time to have an adventure. And you're about to have an adventure. So good.